Good morning, lovely people, or good afternoon. How have you been? I missed you since last week. So, promotions. Not only that, but it's the ugly truth about promotions. So, what are we saying here? We have a lot to say. And I'm sure you have a lot of input, not only as practitioners, but also as consumers, whether you are buying a product. So, let's just step back a bit so everybody is on the same page. The shopping process is pretty complex, and I think in a lot of ways not everybody really understand how complex it is until you break it down. And one of the reasons is that most companies work in silos. Even when you say there is a trade marketing person, so what is a trade marketing person? What's his role? And the right role really is a shopper marketeer, but that's a separate discussion. So he liaises between the brand team and the sales. And then comes the question, where does e-commerce sit in? It popped out, everybody's doing e-commerce. I mean, I had that discussion many times with people. So where do we put that e-commerce person? Anyway, we're not going to answer this one. I'm just telling you that even from organizational structure, it's very hard. If we dissect the three aspects of a shopping experience, sales, we have three dimensions. We have the shopper, we have the brand, which could be a product or a service, any sector, B2C, B2B, and there is the retailer, which is the route to market, the channel, yeah, and that retailer could be anything, it's online, offline, D2C, depends what you're really selling, B2B, B2C, and so forth. So if we look at the shopper, the decision making process is pretty complex, and it's getting complex now even by generation. Because younger, they have access to pocket money, they have access to channels. It's not like I'm waiting for my parent to buy me this. In fact, they force it on you. And I mean that in a good way, by the way. I mean, it doesn't have to be like forcing it, because at the end of the day, who carries the credit card? Yes, it's the parent. But that tells you that, the complexities is coming now from the decision maker. There is an influencer, a decision maker, and there is a buyer. I mean, think about it like, I see a lot of people from Egypt here. Think about pharmacies, OTC versus actual prescribed medicine. We don't have those regulations around prescriptions, But in a lot of cases, pharmaceutical companies are investing in displays. But who's the shopper? It could be the porter, yeah? The lady tells them, like, go and buy XYZ, which could be by subscription, or it is OTC, or, just, stuff that you can buy on the grocery items. Then comes the brand. As I was mentioning, the type of channel, it's one of the things, by the way, that I always include when I'm putting together a brand strategy, because it's often lost. It's route to market. And some people say, oh, it's just sales. No, it's not just sales. Because if you decide ahead how you're going to reach your target, which channel, there is a level of investment, whether you're going to do that through your own sales fleet, or you're going to have an agreement with the distributor, or you're going to set your own D2C or e-commerce. All of these are different. And you could be a B2B, all right? So who are your anchors? What type of image you're going to reflect with these salespeople? Are you going to be one of those real estate agents that is bugging people all the time? No, I mean, no offense to real estate, but I think everybody is really struggling with, privacy of their numbers, and how, you could be contacted by somebody you don't know in the middle of the night, whether with a WhatsApp or, a phone call. All of this makes a difference because at the end of the day, you're building a brand. So that in itself is a track. The third angle is the retailer. So what is your channel strategy? And therefore, that retailer, it is a brand, not a brand. Do they have their own private label? I think most people would be familiar with grocery private label, but that in fact is only within our region because it's very underdeveloped. But if you go to Europe, there are huge growth in private label in fashion, for example. Once you have that reputation as a brand and people trust you, they will come to you because they know that they have this right balance between value and the product. There are brands that do stretch into multiple categories and therefore they become their own brand. Some of them, make sense, some of them don't. So these are the three levels of complexities and how the networks work. Now, if we go into promotion, we are all vulnerable, right? We all buy on promotion. It's a fact. It's not a bad fact. I mean, I myself, I go into a store of whatever, and I think I wear two hats. The hat of Dahlia, I'm just a shopper, and then of course the other hat that I have so much knowledge on how's that. It's a bit crazy because I think of the material that is written in front of me as stimulus, and think about this, that a shopper's brain would have only around 7 to 8 seconds to process any kind of communication in store. So that is one of the reasons that articulating that promotion needs to be spot on. We're going to talk about this in a minute. But then again, the structure of the retail and where you're going to place that promotion. But the fact is, and this is data from Nielsen globally, that only 30% of promotions actually break even. Another report I saw recently from some South Africa, I don't know what's wrong with me this morning. Sorry, guys. Anyway, I saw that report from South Africa, and they were saying that over time, at least in the last 6 to 7 years, they've been seeing that the shopper's brain is trained to only shop on promotion. So put that in mind. What have we done to our brands? We have diluted equity. It's that equation between the price point and value. And the way I see it today with, crunched budgets, affordability issues, and this is globally, regionally, locally, whatever you lay it, yes, there is inflation. It's a fact. What are we going to do about it? We're going to continue to discount the numbers. If you have access to the Nielsen database in a lot of the fast-moving consumer goods sectors, then the percentage of brands that are sold on promotion, which is the discounted price, versus original price, it's hilarious. The other thing, some of the brands, they actually don't understand the consumption behavior. So let's take coffee. If this is a one-person consumption, a two-person family, or a four-member family that is consuming that 200 gram of coffee jar, how much time does it take for them to actually finish that? And therefore they are ready to have more. Do they stock or not? Now, that time period, and if you have panel data in your markets, that would be very important information because you can plan your calendar. So this person is accustomed to coffee brand X, but here I am, I'm offering that brand X and that jar in 200 gram at promotion all the time, or at least 2 to 3 weeks. So as a shopper, and I'm going to buy that one anyway, why am I shopping it now? And mind you, this is one of the important piece of information, is that while shoppers go weekly to maybe 3 channels to shop for grocery, but the shops that they go to, they're very familiar with them. So at least 75% to 80%, they are aware of the dynamics of that store. They know that there would be a promotion, whether it's from the brand or from the retailer, and they know how to hunt sort of for promotions. And people are not stupid. I mean, one of the things that really upsets me about brand owners, they think that, they know it all. Actually, they don't. Whether a shopper level or a customer level or consumer level, consumers actually evolve faster than companies do. Companies and brands are always playing catch up. Yeah, I mean, that is very clear, for example, in breakthrough innovations. Yeah, so that's one big part of it. You are losing sales on your original price just because you are, as the South African research was saying, we have trained our brains only to buy on promotion. The other thing is seasonality. So there are seasons. So you say, like, Christmas, Ramadan, Mother's Day, which is great, fine, but don't promote in seasonal as well as all year long. That is ridiculous, all right? There needs to be a purpose of that promotion. And you need to understand the dynamics of your sector. So why would people buy laptops? At which part of the year? Is there seasonality for it? Things like Black Friday. Should we wait till Black Friday? Is it even worth it? Or because it's ongoing, so let's just do that. Back to school, for example, it's become very fashionable. I mean, in our region specifically, I haven't seen much of that in Europe. So back to school, I've seen actually this year some ridiculous ones. There was this, premium chocolatier, and they have these mini bites of premium chocolate, and they say this is back to school promotion. I mean, for God's sake, I leave that comment to you because I thought that was really very funny. So in the construct of a promotion, by definition, promotions and salespeople would know that very well. It's bridging a gap in the sales. Yeah, let's face it, we're all here to run our numbers. And if you have a quarter closing, you might need to run a promotion. Fine. And then there is seasonality, and there is market dynamics or your competition. But there's also value and loyalty. Think about a loyalty card of long term, where you always, when you buy something, you're always coming to buy that same thing again because there's always a recurrent, reward. I think we speak very lightly of loyalty. We don't appreciate or compensate our customers that they come back. They too can be an objective for a promotion. It's long-term versus the usual short-sighted vision of a promotion. So at the offset, let's think of a promotion. What is the objective? Is it short-term versus long-term? What kind of appeal? Does it fit with my target? Because in many ways, let's agree on something. Value is important even for rich people. I mean, I have the money, but I always want to feel that I had a good buy. I'm smart enough. I got a good deal. This is in the psychology of buyers. It doesn't matter the price point itself. So I've seen one of those promotions recently for club members. It's a very posh club, and it was done by a brand. I don't want to say the name of the brand, but it's one of those popular gas stations. And with the membership, they have put in coupons whereby you get a discount like 10 or 15 pounds on the oil when you exchange it. But wait a minute, this is a posh club. This person is not probably going to use those, because first they go to the car maintenance, so they don't individually go and change their oil at a gas station. And then on top of that, they've actually put in the voucher that they can be redeemed on only 3 locations in Cairo. And like, how ridiculous is that? Yeah. So it's one of those examples where the people who sat in and said, like, you know, let's do this promotion for these rich clients in that club, it is a super no fit. Yeah. In promotions, you need to think of the customer profile and what value they're going to get from you. And therefore, it's not only about sales, but it's also about your image. The other thing, think of bundles, especially in servicing. So let's say you're in one of those jobs like a dentist, or an eye doctor. Why don't you do bundles? I mean, for a family, probably they have 2 or 3 kids. They need to get their eyes checked. So why don't you do a bundle for 3 kids? You need to think differently. Promotions are not just about a pack discount. It's not about buy one, get one free. Speaking of which, by the way, because I mean, with the announcement of that event, I had put in 3 pictures of fashion retail discounts. The one thing now with inflation, just be careful. You cannot do something like buy 3 and get the 4th free, because that is a lot of money. You can realize how much is a t-shirt today versus 3 years back. Yeah, because of inflation. So you're asking people to push a lot of money out there, and then you're forcing them to buy from that same store. I mean, it's probably, who's your target? A family of 3 kids or 3 teenagers coming in to buy together. Would they stick to one store that they would have a similar taste of fashion? Absolutely not. And then you think, why is my promotion is not working? Sometimes it's just ABC. I don't know if I'm the only one who feels that way, but sometimes it's common sense. Why should I go into a store, pay a fortune, okay, stick to one kind of fashion, and, in the older days, yeah, that might have been fit, yeah, but today, no. So the offer and the target, they need to match. Coming to the wording. Now, a lot of people miss out on the power of words. And maybe if you've followed my winning communication material or workshop based on learnings from neuromarketing, we know a lot about how the brain works, and it's affected by the stimulus, no matter what the stimulus is. So any communication in store will probably take 7 to 8 seconds to get registered, if ever. There's also a lot of learning around where does the text go, where's the photo goes, and stuff like that. Now, of course, this is needs to be explained, not in an audio session, but I would tell you, at least for the text and in relation to promotion, it needs to be simple. If any promotion will require that the brain works and calculates, it's just going to skip it. Yeah? So every time you have put in a promotion where there is complexity, it's not going to work. And this could be in the value, in calculating the value itself of the promotion. So I'm reading it and I'm saying, like, what am I getting out of this? Is this cheaper than this other brand or this other promotion or whatever I have put there? There is so much fake promotions out there, and I think this is where the title of this talk today is about. It's the ugly truth. Yes, if you calculate it, you're not getting a value as much as you think as a shopper. The biggest one would be if you are buying bulk of the brand that you always buy anyway. This is the top one. if you have straightforward add-on, so you're getting a quantity of that brand and then you're getting a 20% extra on it of the same brand, same product, same quality. So you see, it's clarity. I'm getting something, I'm paying for it, I know what I'm getting. But all of these, buy this and then another bundle, and then the weights of the SKUs are changing. I'm talking about groceries specific now. What does this do? You know, you feel like you've been ripped off. You probably feel bad about the retailer, about the brand. You get confused. You don't know if this is a promotion from the brand or from the retailer. But generally, it's very negative feeling. You're not getting a promotion. You're just being ripped off to buy more. And probably you don't have the finances for it. So again, every word counts and every bundle that you put together. One of the other things is the logistics. So if you're saying that if you buy this, you have a coupon. And that coupon, you have to go outside the store in a kiosk and either redeem it, or you have to gather 3 coupons in a certain period of time, then you call a number to get it redeemed. It's not going to work. I mean, honestly, even with, middle class or people who needs promotions, I mean, we always need instant gratification. The truth is, this is how our brain works. It's about instant gratification, it's about clarity and simplicity. The more complex you're putting in the promotion, the lack of clarity why you're doing it, the lack of fit between what you're offering and the image of the brand and the objective of the promotion, if they do not fit together, it's a failure. At the end of the day, net, you could be doing all of this effort and you're not getting value. Not in sales numbers and not in brand or loyalty for that brand. Now, the one thing that I would say, that brand has lost it. Out of the 3 points or parameters of the shopping experience we spoke about earlier, we spoke about the shopper, the brand, and retailer, those 3 arms. Now, I would think today the retailer is a huge winner, and not in many ways, a disclaimer, not really ethical. There's a lot of deceptions on that. I mean, if you go online on YouTube and just Google tricks retailers tricks that retailers do, you'd be amazed. Yeah, from the promotions to the way things are put in the store, things like that, and claims that are not true. Even that notion of private label that you're saving, not necessarily true, because it's a function of the quality. I mean, at least I'm talking about private label in the commodity sectors, not in the premium one. So again, going back to these 3, the retailer, I think, are the ones who win big in this. I would park e-commerce because I have a different talk on it. It's a different dynamics. But for now, it's physical retailers. The shopper, if he's smart or not, if he's happy, he could be, getting a bad deal, but still he's happy or she's happy. That's fine. Yeah. It's about perception value. I'm getting this, I don't know, dress that I've always longed for, and every time I pass this shop, it's very expensive, and suddenly it's on sale. I go in and buy it. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, it's a good deal. And sometimes, you buy something on promotion and you think it's good, or maybe you shifted your brand and you go back and say, oh, that's a very poor quality, and you throw it in the bin. So you actually thrown your money. Then the brand. So to me, the brand is the losers, are the losers for years and years now, because they have not developed the notion of value. Doing a lot of promotions for your brand diluted the value and the equity. It's a bigger problem than our discussion on promotions. And honestly, there is no going back. The only way to fight this is go back and look at your brand DNA and your strategy, whether it's who are your target market, and if you need to change it, you need to look into their portfolio and clean it up. Does it, needs rationalization at an SKU level? What is your communication evaluation is? Do you, engage in proper communication or just more of the same? And, you know, celebrity ad is not going to help you, because in a lot of cases people think that this is the shortcut, but it's not. Unfortunately not. People are not stupid. Okay, entertain them and get their favorite celebrity there, and maybe with a joke or something, but at the end of the day, your bottom line is how much you're selling. And then have a proper channel review. What is your route to market today? Is it really efficient enough? I mean, particularly if you're going traditional trade, modern trade, e-commerce, if you're into servicing, are your, anchors, those who contact your clients one-on-one, are they professional enough? Do they have a personal brand? Actually, you as a company in B2B, are you a corporate brand or just another servicing? Yeah. Next week, by the way, I have a session on B2B where we talk about B2B companies and how they are very late in picking up tools and tricks from the consumer world. And we're going to look at a couple of relaunches of big brands like Xerox and how they made it big just because they started using the consumer B2C tools. So this would be next week. I always think that it is a low-hanging fruit for big companies, construction, insurance, finance, that directly sell to that. So let's wrap it up here. I'd like to hear from you, whether questions, experiences as practitioners or customers. We are all are, and we are all vulnerable to promotion. So if you have a build, please, put your hands up.